What's up, gamers, and welcome back for more WotC-20. Today's matchup is Wigglytuff versus Rain Dance, two classic decks in Do the Wave and of course Rain Dance. It will be Wigglytuff on the left side, Rain Dance on the right. So these will be WotC-20 builds, therefore both leading off with Cleffas in the active, with a Cleffa on the bench for Tuff and a Black Star promo Eevee on the bench for Blastoise. So we'll see if that turns into a Vaporeon or not, what other evolutions might be in this deck, but it looks like turn one goes to Tuff, and immediately joining the bench will be a KogaBats as well as, or is that a Brock Zubat? Let's see. No, it's a KogaBats with group attack, as well as Sabrina's Abra, and straight into a Shaman, so supporter for turn. Before a first turn can even be taken by Rain Dance, that hand being shuffled back in, a fresh 4 drawn, so hopefully an energy can come out of that for the Cleffa. And a Cleffa on the other side for Tuff gets the grass energy attached for turn. So we'll see how these eking back and forth turns go. But right now, strong start for Tuff, immediately disrupting Rain Dance, who drew into at least one water energy from what I can tell, so that's good for responding with Eek. And then let's see, it looks like a DCE and Tyrogue in hand, along with a Focus Band, and another Cleffa for Tuff. So pretty easy way to fill the bench, but want to save some spots for those Jigglypuffs and Wigglytuffs. Focus Band onto Cleffa, and attempting to Eek. Looks like it was good, and now turn one for Rain Dance, so Cleffa's going to get the attach. A Rocket's Hideout comes down, so possibly a Dark Vaporeon deck. And another Cleffa joins the bench. That's good in the face of Tyrogue. And Eek is, I believe that's looks like an even number. Therefore heads. Just cutting decks here, and yes, looks like Eek was good. So Shaman being a little disruptive, but not locking down the early turns as much as it could have there with a Cleffa online. And there is the Jigglypuff in hand that we were talking about that Tuff would be looking for to round out that bench. 4 out of 5 slots filled already, along with enough energy for Tuff to get going. I saw a Recycle Energy as well as a DCE there, but it looks like Tuff is not going to get powered up right now. We're going into a Tyrogue. Recycle Energy to that Tyrogue. Now you have to hit the baby rule on the heads, and then Smash Punch is going to deal 30 after another head, so you need 2 heads here to get the knockout. And it is a Tails, so going for a very early prize. Of course, when there is a Cleffa on the bench as well for the opponent, that line of play is usually not going to stunt them too hard. And a fresh 7 for Cleffa off of that Eek for Rain Dance. Turn 2 starts now. Looks like I saw an Oak, plenty of energy, a Breeder's in there. Comp Search, Trader, and I'm not sure about the alt art. Lots of energy though. Water attached for turn 2, Eevee. And it will be a Copycat, so throwing that Oak and Comp Search and energy back into the deck with Copycat. Would have liked to see the computer search first. Plenty of discard fodder in the energy line there to go and grab something, whether it's a Fan Club or a Squirtle before dumping the hand. That's fine. Copycat for 6 is pretty good. On average, you're probably going to be looking at about 6, depending on the part of the game you're at. And after a deck cut, we'll see what fresh 6 the Copycat gave off here. No more supporters for turn. And there's an Articuno onto the bench. Looks like a Ward Turtle was found. Already did attach for turn. There's a Breeder, but no Squirtle. And rolling for an Eek. So looks like Eek is good again. Big deal, building up slowly. Now you can see Metal in hand along with DCE for Tuff to consider. And going for a Smash Punch after attaching energy to Jigglypuff. Looks like it was a Tails again, not going for the second roll. Turns pass back to Rain Dance. And a switch was drawn. There was a Squirtle. Energy for turn to Articuno. Looks like there's another copycat as well as a Fisherman. Just different artwork that I'm familiar with from the WotC era. And hand is kept. So that Wartortle can trigger the Eevee here. Notice there's a Double Gust in hand. Not sure if Double Gust is going to try to grief that Eevee with the energy attach on it. It would still require Smash Punch to hit heads. There's also the option to go into Wigglytuff, although I don't think there's a Tough in hand. You could grab it with Computer Search. Might as well, yeah, putting the Mon lines in the bin. The bench is full. Would be very surprised if we don't see a Wigglytuff here. And it will be that Wigglytuff pulled out, so Do the Wave could do 60. You could Gust with Double Gust up the Squirtle or the Eevee. Double Gust hitting back on Tuff's side will not do anything with all the free retreaters abound, except for Tuff, but Tuff is what is desired to be active. And the Recycle in hand, so that'll be enough for Do the Wave to come up. Looks like Double Gust will be held. Chain Evolution on Eevee triggering here. Get a good deck peep in, and there is the Dark Vaporeon. Rolling for Do the Wave. That is a heads. First knockout of the game is Do the Wave from Tuff onto this Cleffa. But there's another Cleffa inbound. Now, Dark Vaporeon has Bite for 30, which is 3 colorless energy, and then, more importantly, is Whirlpool. Now you can see another Dark Vaporeon was drawn, but Whirlpool deals 20 for 2 water and a colorless. If the defending Pokemon has any energy attached to it, choose one of them and discard it. Gonna see that Dark Vaporeon go back into the deck with Trader to pull out a Blastoise. Looks like there's some switches in hand. Good tech card. Doesn't see a ton of play. A Fisherman as well, and a pass. No attach for turn, I believe. Could have probably... well, you don't want a Fisherman for 1. Didn't throw any energy into the bin with Comp Search earlier, as we talked about. Looks like it was just a Do the Wave attempt there and a pass. Eevee joins the bench. Blastoise comes into play. And it will be a copycat for 5. Hopefully you can find some water energy. Now Whirlpool on Vaporeon is unconditional, so you don't have to flip for it. You can just discard an energy card, and it doesn't even have to be basic, so you could get the DCE off of Tuff. That would be a big deal. You also won't get one shot with Do the Wave because you have Rocket's Hideout down, so Dark Vaporeon has 80 HP instead of 60. That's a big deal too. So we'll see how much energy gets found here. If it's 2, Vaporeon has a line of play. You could also go with Articuno, but that's a little more flippy. Ooh, and I don't see any energy. I see a Stadium, a Cleffa, which probably don't need at this point. Switch, and a Warp. I would Oak the hand. It will be a pass. Do the Wave is a Tails again. So Tuff just sitting on a big hand, top decking and wrecking, going for heads on these Cleffos, not getting the best of luck there, so slowing things down just enough for Rain Dance. Was that an Eek? I don't think there's any energy on Cleffa, so I am confused. Well, doesn't matter, I guess. Another Vaporeon coming out off of Trader with Wartortle. So going to power up the Articuno, not going for the Vaporeon line. Articuno is a very good attacker though, going for Freeze Dry, 30, and flip for Paralysis. Looks like it's good, that's a big deal. So Articuno will not get tagged back by a very solid Do the Wave. Of course, Articuno at 70 HP can take one. Alright, Double Gust comes down. Each side gets to Gust. Rain Dance has to pick first. So this will effectively remove the paralysis on Tough, allowing it to swing back. Assuming that Tough just wants to put in a free retreater and then swap out again. Tough choosing the Cleffa. Tough coming back in here. Metal Energy onto Tough, so now swinging for 50. Worth noting that damage reduction could be a big deal. If Articuno gets one more attach, it can no longer knock out that Wigglytuff. Blizzard would normally deal 50, but to Tough it would deal 40. Another Eevee joining the bench. Articuno comes back in. No energy for turn here. And Freeze Dry looking to do 20. Will it paralyze? No paralysis this time around. Worth noting, Articuno is resistant to fighting type, so Tyrogue is not going to be able to deal damage to it. Computer search discarding 2 Oaks. Let's see what gets grabbed here. I don't think this particular Tough build has any damage augmentation. See a Nightly Garbage Run grabbing a Focus Band. Gonna start trading. Gonna try to keep that Tough alive as long as possible, I guess. Another Double Gust is in hand in case paralysis happens again from Freeze Dry. Keep an eye on that. Okay, we will see Double Gust fairly early. Sabrina's Abra comes in, it's a free retreater. We'll see what gets tagged here. It's going to be the Eevee. Tough comes back in, gets the Focus Band, and will take a knockout here. So that is 2 prizes now for Tough, prizing 4 to 6 in favor of Tough. Draw for turn, there's a Water Energy. So now we will see Blizzard. However, it will be a coin flip to see which bench takes 10. Alright, Tough would get knocked out, but now we gotta see Focus Band happen. And I think the wrong person is rolling the die. Oh, I'm sorry. That was a roll for Blizzard. We have yet to see the roll for Focus Band. That's what I thought it was before. Apologies for that. So 10 spread to the bench on Tuff side. That's a big deal. We'll keep an eye on that. And now rolling for Focus Band. But it does not save Wigglytuff, so big flips there for Rain Dance. First prize of the match for Rain Dance. And Cleffa comes back active. And no damage was tagged on Articuno because that Eevee was gusted up instead. Articuno, full fresh 70 is going to be hard to get through. And dealing 50, it can one-shot everything on the board right now for Tuff. We'll see another Double Gust. Pulls in the Cleffa, surprised to not see the Blastoise pulled in. You know that the opponent on Rain Dance was trying to top deck an energy for Articuno for a couple of turns. Blastoise has a retreat of 3. Could strand it in the active. Give yourself some time. You could even chip away at it. Looks like we're going to be going for some smash punches on Cleffas. Recycle energy to Zubat. We'll see if grouping attack gets online in this match. And it's a Tails on Smash Punch on the baby rule. Back to Rain Dance. Water for turn to Vaporeon. 2 warps in hand though, so I guess that Double Gust on Blastoise would not have done much. Cleffa free retreats. Puts Articuno back in. Rolling for Blizzard was declared, but it was a Tails. Freeze Dry is also enough to KO the Tyrogue, so Blizzard not necessary to risk your own bench damage, but pegging bench damage onto Tuff is also pretty good. Might allow Vaporeon to clean up later in the game. Prizing still 4 to 5 to my knowledge. Recycle going on to a benched Cleffa, and an Oak discarding a Tuff and a Cyclone. So I believe there are three Jigglypuffs in the bin. I think one was comp searched away earlier. One was knocked out, and then was another one just... Tuff was just discarded. Maybe it's only 2 Tuff lines in the bin. I thought I counted 3. You can see a Shaman in hand. Not great when you have a big hand. ER though can slow things down a little bit, not by much. That Blizzard hitting the bench here means that Freeze Dry can still clean up the rest of the board for Tuff. ER does hit Articuno, but like we said, Freeze Dry is still enough to clean up here. We will see a Shaman, so big hand going back in for Tuff. Decent hand going back in for Rain Dance as well. Both those warps going back in. And a fresh 4 for each side. Ooh, a Zubat was drawn along with a Grass Energy. Could start seeing some group attacks, but like I said, Freeze Dry will neuter that plan fairly quickly. Wow, okay, computer search, tossing 2 grass in the bin. And we also know there was a grass attached to Cleffa. Looks like there's still plenty of grass left in the deck, though. That won't make it too hard to get off a grouping attack, but we'll see. Went to grab a Jigglypuff. So tiny hand, gonna try to set Tuff back up gradually. Looking to free retreat into one of the Cleffas. That'll give us a free Eek off of this Articuno. So one card goes in. Deck getting thin though. Drawing 7 is going to be accelerating towards deck out. Meanwhile, a DCE was drawn for Rain Dance. That's not bad for Vaporeon. Alright, and we are Rain Dancing back onto the active Articuno. DCE for turn attached to the Vaporeon. And I believe we just saw Oak declared. I think it also threw a Fisherman into the bin. Would have liked to see the Fisherman come down first just to take advantage of it if it was going to get thrown out. Squirtle comes down, full new Blastoise line in hand. That's a big deal for Rain Dance. Full benches on both sides. More Rain Dancing occurring, setting Blastoise up with some energy. Not sure how many got attached there. Blizzard attempted. It's a heads. Prize parity, 4-4 aside. Blizzard to bench. Alright, Rain Dance takes the 10 this time. And Focus Band fails again for Tough, putting Cleffa into the bin. So prizing now 4-4. Looks like Dark Vaporeon was just grabbed off of the prizing. And let's see, ER, DCE, and a Comp Search to probably go and grab a Tough. But Jigglypuff doesn't have any attaches yet, so it can't get Do the Wave off just yet. Definitely need to stall out in order to take down Articuno. Alright, there goes a Cleffa and a Tyrogue with Comp Search. What's gonna go get grabbed here? Surely it's a Tough. It's a Tough again. We'll see if Tough gets played immediately or not. Might want to keep it in hand. ER again. Hitting the Articuno. Tough will be played this turn, along with a Grass Energy. And into an Eek. So, makes sense to play the Tough if you're going to Eek anyway. Could have held hand. Or just passed. Quick bin check for Tough. Blastoise plans their turn out. Prizing still 4-4. Going for a Freeze Dry now. And that is another prize taken for Rain Dance, prizing 4-3 in favor of Rain Dance. Tyrogue comes in, reminder that it can't deal damage to this Articuno. Big hand for Tough, but now the bench is small, so your Do the Wave damage is cut down on. Still, a DCE could start swinging. There is an Abra in hand that could join the bench for a little damage boost. Tough coming in. There's also a Zubat, so the bench can get back to full. There's the Zubat, there's the Abra. And Do the Wave hits for 60. Articuno 10 damage away from being knocked out. And there's a Switch in hand, that could come in handy. Could put that Vaporeon up and just Whirlpool away that DCE. Switch instead going for the Blastoise, a big hitter coming in. Only 10 damage on Blastoise so far. Hydro Pump can't get a one-hit KO, but it will be able to over the course of 2 turns without any additional attaches. And it's Hydro Pump 440. So So Tough staring down a KO as well. Wigglytuff drawn off the top. No Gusts in sight. There is a Cyclone energy, but that would be dealer's choice for Rain Dance. Tough opting to retreat instead of tagging damage. Tyro coming in. Recycle to Tough. And Smash Punch going for 30. Alright, Blastoise tagged for 40 now out of 100. If you were going to retreat the Tough, attaching the Recycle first might have been useful, because you would just bounce it back to your hand and can use it next turn. Hydro Pump attempt. Looks like that was a Tails, so Tyrogue lives, prizing still 4-3. Tough back active. Attach for turn, so Do the Wave is back online. And that will knock out the Blastoise, which had 60 HP remaining. Only needs to deal 40 to knock out the Tough in return though, which means you just need 1 energy attached to this Articuno. Well, 1 water energy. We'll see a breeder for a fresh Blastoise, but is there a water energy in hand? No, there is not. Attached return should be a warp into that Dark Vaporeon to remove some energy. Of course, now the choice to retreat with DCE last turn looks pretty good for Tough, because DCE is not a target for Whirlpool, and you know there's energy in hand. That looks like that is what will happen though. Warp for turn on the Articuno. It's too good of a blocker on that Tyrogue. Vaporeon will come in. Second thoughts. Alright, opting to keep the Articuno active actually, not attaching Warp for turn. Freeze dry, big flip. It is paralyzed. That's a big deal. Is there a way out of that? I do think I see a warp in hand. Far left looks like a warp energy. So Tough could come out here and then take the KO with a free retreat to get it back active. Then Vaporeon could take a knockout in retaliation. Quick bin check for Tough, planning it out. I believe prizing is 3-3 after the last Blastoise was knocked out. There's the warp like we were talking about. Quick bin check again. Alright, and passes turn, does not want the Tough to get knocked out in retaliation. So leaving that Articuno alive This could be a total disaster if a blizzard comes in and hits double heads. I would oak into that for sure. Drop the oak, get some energy, blizzard away the Tyrogue, hit the heads, and take out the Tuff at the same time would be crazy, but instead we will see a warp into Vaporeon, I believe. Nope, into Cleffa. And a pass, so both sides no longer feel like attacking. Psychic Energy in hands abound could get Abra involved. Instead it will be double flips for Smash Punch instead of energy looping against the Cleffa. First one's a heads though. And the second one is a head. So finally Smash Punches a Cleffa out of the active. Prizing now I believe 2 to 3. Don't ask me, I can't see the prizing on Tuff's side. Finally a water energy for that Articuno. Oaking away the hand, that's the right play here. Gotta depend on the active board to close this out, I think. Is that a copycat or a fisherman? I think I see both, actually. Fisherman is well timed here. 2 water with Rain Dance down onto Blastoise. Good Fisherman. Get as many water out of the bin as you can, up to 4. And there are certainly going to be 4. Looks like 3, but I think it's 4. Yep, looks like 4. Really can't tell. Yeah, okay. Cleffa joins the bench. Rain Dancing down more energy onto Blastoise. Hydro Pump is online. Now it's online for 50. Now 60 with 5 full attaches to max it out. Another Rain Dance water energy down onto Vaporeon. And a computer search as well? Fan Club and something else just got tossed with computer search. Not a lot of cards left in deck there. That's the whole deck. But there is a Gust. Great turn for Rain Dance. What's that Gust gonna hit? Probably the Tuff? Or do you high roll with a Blizzard flip and try to tag the Wigglytuff? Nope, gonna guarantee it on the Wigglytuff. And rolling for Blizzard, damage to bench on the opponent. Big flips. 2 prizes needed now for Rain Dance to close this out. Energy Loop Abra now active. There to help with the tight matchup for Tuff. Also can clean up this Articuno here, which has been 10 damage away from a knockout for a while. I believe we're at, if we're not at prize parity, we're about to be. Both Blastoise and Vaporeon on the bench can continue to play cleanup here. Another Jigglypuff to the bench. Along with the Recycle Energy, are there enough Tuffs left to power another one up though? Energy Loop will bounce that energy to hand, take a knockout on this Articuno. And in comes Blastoise. Draw for turn. Computer Search and DCE in hand. DCE attaches to Vaporeon number 2 on the bench. Hydro Pump for the knockout. 1 prize remaining for Rain Dance. Gust was just pulled out of the prizing. That'll do it. What can Tuff do here? Huge hand. Cleffa on bench protects from Cyclone here. That's a big deal. Is there any way to Gust in the Cleffa and try to Smash Punch it? Jigglypuff coming in. There is a Tuff in hand. That's a massive hand. What happened? Tuff comes down. Uh-oh. DCE for turn. Do the wave back online. Not fully powered yet. There is a Clef in hand to do that, and a Zubat. Zubat joins the bench. Do the wave, deals 60. Blastoise survives it. I think it's at 70. Is this Gust for game? Alright, that'll be Gust for game off the Hydro Pump. Good game from both sides, very back and forth. That was Do the Wave and Rain Dance. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, subscribe for more WotC-20, and we will catch you next time.